Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Welcome back to the Revo British Motocross Championship, fueled by Gulf Race Fuels, round 8 of 8. Landrake and the south coast here in Cornwall. And yeah, we just got the MX1 boys out in the sighting lap. So we want to see thank our partners here in the stream. Do you want to have a crack at those ones, Jeff?
Well, yes, luckily I went to school and I can read. So you can see on the bottom of your screen there. Thanks to everybody at Bell, Fly, Oakley, RFX, and 7. These brands obviously make this happen. The guys at Beer and everybody, because of them and other people now starting to rise up and realise that we can give you this free to view. That's the point.
Beautiful.
I've actually had a few people say, oh, you know what, shame you've got to put the adverts on. Let me just highlight something here. We never put adverts on when the racing's going on, just saying. And without those adverts, you'd have to pay for it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, can't fault that. And of course, we've also got our series sponsors here who've been with us all year. We've got the title sponsor Revo, of course, world leaders, and I mean worldwide leaders as well in performance-enhancing products for Volkswagen and Audi automobiles. And then you've also got our Gulf Race Fuels, our fuel buy sponsor, who've been with us all year. Charity sponsor Road to Recovery. Of course, our industry sponsors 24MX, Bickers, and Scott Sports. Of course, you can still vote for your rider of the weekend. That's on the Instagram story of the @Revo ACU British MX. That's REVO ACU British MX. So vote for your favourite rider from any class on the Instagram story, and the rider with the most votes will get provided a pair of Scott Prospect 6 Days France goggles. They will receive those on the podium at the end of the day. Factory Image Racing, they're in the trade area there. Some fantastic products you can buy from them. Maxxis Tyres will be giving a set of free tyres to all the youth class winners on the podium as well. 10 Plant Power keep us all with their generators going here for the championship. Keck's Fastest Lap, so Keck's sponsoring the Fastest Lap Award. They've also got Keck's chairs on the podium, so you can go up there and take some photos if you're on site. So yeah, take those before they pack them away, ready for the podium ceremony. Wolf Sport, you can see several of the fantastic jackets there where Wolf Sport have helped us out, kitting out the crew and what have you. And Dawson Training, who provide all the training and also barriers for people like Dylan Walsh to crash into on the, the opening lap as he did so there. But yeah, so there's the commercial vehicle training as well. Surf and Turf, if you pan towards the mechanics area, you'll see all their instant shelters in any colour you wish to choose from. And then of course our media partners, Live Motocross, TMX and Motorhead. Check those out for all your racing news every week, every single day. They've got something fresh on there. And also thanks to our massive crew here at RHL Activities who look after the track, the medical facilities, making sure that everybody's okay. On that note as well, just to note, Tyler Hooley did get stretchered away, but he was conscious. He was fine. There are broken bones, but that is as far as the damage has gone, which is what we did see after his crash in the 125 and 250 race. So just in case you were worried about Tyler Hooley, he has been taken to hospital, but he looking more like broken bones than anything worse.
Oh, well, I do wish him well, because I think he broke a collarbone earlier on in the year and kind of muscled through that. I came back from that to good effect. So he's had a rough first season in the 125s, but, you know, he's still had a good season with all said and done, and muscled through it, pulled through it. So, Tyler, you know, we expect him to be obviously sticking down in that 125 class next year, and he'll absolutely be a title contender. So he'll have another shot at it next year. Yeah,
well and truly. Yeah, he was third in the championship this year, and we know, of course, that Charlie Heyman's already moved up, and we hear that Ollie Colmer is also likely to move up as well. So, yeah, for sure. Tyler Hooley and Ben Muster will be like old days on 85s battling for the championship in that one next year, we're sure. So yeah, we got ourselves ready for our final race then. So we have got the final title decider in the MX1 class between the number 151. Harry Kullas won the first race away and clear, but Tommy Searle did back up there with a fine second place, and that makes the championship gap quite difficult. 12 points, which basically means that Tommy Searle needs 8th or better to keep the championship in the Credit Fast Track Honda team. The number 100 there will keep the red plate into this final race, and to maintain that 8th or better, even if Harry wins, is what he actually needs to do. But it's still going to be a great scrap for the race win there, because Conrad Muse could well still clinch his first overall.
Yeah,
Josh Gilbert was third in race 1, and he'll be looking to improve on that, of course. And Harry Kullas, for his own part, will just want to win race 2 for the first time all year. So we're looking to see how that one goes. And Sean Simpson also had a problem in race 1, which limited him down to 5th place, and hopefully he'll be looking to improve that as well.
going back to the championship quest and what Tommy's, after this championship, I would have said he'd be probably the calmest out of everybody in the team, because he knows what he's got to do. Right now, it's the team, and particularly his mechanic and all those guys, the guys that do the motors and all that. They'll actually be more nervous about it. Because, Tommy knows he's more than capable of bringing this thing in 8th place.
Yeah, absolutely.
But right now the team are thinking, okay, we know he's capable of 8th. we just got to make sure that obviously everything, they would have double-checked all those nuts and bolts.
Yes, for sure. Yeah,
even though they've been there before.
Double, triple,
won the championship, going for the third. Is it the third straight? It's
Yes, it will be the third straight. Yes, he won in 2019. Of course, no championship in 2020 with COVID. And then he won last year here at Landrake for 2021. Also, Tommy not going for the mustard sort of gold top like he did last year. I thought he might sport that one in the final race just to put a little edge in. But we've got 2 riders here. We've got Harry Kullas, number 151 on the outside, and we've got, how about this then?
Look at this.
Go on, I'll let you say it.
No, exactly. Whether that's strategy or coincidence, you decide. Basically, you've got the entire Cab Screens Yamaha Crescent team there surrounding Tommy Searle. I mean, other than putting one behind him and one directly in front of him, I can't think what more they could do to try and intimidate him.
Are you surrounded? Just a little bit. Wow, look at that. They're all wearing the same kit as well. They look like stormtroopers all around him here. Is he going to break out from the middle of them like Han Solo? Who knows? He's going to absolutely fly this. 2 Scotsmen wave at the camera there. Sean Simpson, John Adamson together. And then Stuart Edmonds having a decent day. First day back in the British Championship office. In 8th place he was in race 1, which is not too bad for himself there. And Peter Petrov and Charlie Putnam there at the end of the road. Glenn McCormick on the Chambers KTM, Chambers Husqvarna, my mistake, is just there with some Bickers and CI Sport sponsorship for himself. So how is this going to go then? Are we going to see pincer movement from the Yamahas? Tommy, wow, pressure's on to make a jump, isn't it?
Yeah, but he made a great jump in the opening moto,
really
and I think the same again. He can't. But listen, he's got to. He can't let them all go and then just sit there. But he knows he's just going to pull a good one here. I'm sure of that. Yeah,
got to make the drop. Conrad Muse a bit further inside than most of the top contenders. They are heads down as we look to set off this final race of the MX1 Championship, and they are go up the start straight. Who has got the jump?
Searle
has got out of the middle of all of that, and he is out in front. What a way to answer. 3 Cab Screen Crescent Yamahas around him, and he emerges out in the clear. But Kullas is right on his case. Martin Barr's had a great start, up into 3rd place. Josh Gilbert in 4th as the rest of the pack straight through, looking all pretty clean. Although Martin Barr got the jump wrong, so Gilbert moves up into 3rd. Kullas versus Searle at the top. It's mano a mano. Sadly for Kullas, he needs more people between them. So basically, it's just out for him to go out and win this second race and see what he can do. But Searle will be looking to deprive him of that one.
All I can see here is Tommy Searle getting the hammer down, just breaking the field. Not so much Kullas stretching the field, and then he knows he's got space in behind. He can maybe let him pass, let a few hide. So Tommy's going to go at least put in 3 or 4 really blinding laps here, I think, to break and stretch the field. Then he can survey the situation and go, do you know what? And then he could see, if he wanted to, where he could drop back down to and let Kullas on his way.
Yeah, for certain. And
if he wanted to do that.
Josh Gilbert tried to make a run around the outside of Harry Kullas around the wave section. He went triple in, but then he had to go double single outwards as Kullas veered across the track, and obviously must have scared Gilbert that he might have to land on the Yamaha. So bad news there for Gilbert. He's dropped back a little bit, but he's still there in 3rd place. Coming down the hill in 4th place now is Conrad Muse, with Dan Thornhill in 5th. And then looked like a good start, I think, for the 91 of Putnam, if I'm not mistaken. I might be. But there certainly was a Husqvarna up in the mix there. And here is Kullas again with that foam on the top of his crash helmet, even though there's no mud sticking to anything. Maybe he thinks it's his lucky foam peak. I don't know. But he's out there in front. And, in 2nd place behind Tommy Searle. And, wow. What a start from Tommy Searle, surrounded by Cab Screens Crescent Yamahas, and still emerged out in front of all 3 of them.
Yeah, some people would argue, like, well, okay, why would Tommy push it, on the opening lap if he threw it away? But he's got to, because it'll just keep him away from any trouble, and then he can gauge the race and pace the race from there. He's done it many times before. Why wouldn't he? You cannot be over cautious when you're trying to win a championship. That's when stuff happens.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, absolutely. And then, yeah, Gilbert's actually giving Kullas quite a bit of hassle for that third place. Conrad Muse up in the fourth, Dan Thornhill fifth, Simpson sixth, Barr seventh, Todd eighth, Adamson ninth, then McCormick. And it looked like another one of the Husqvarnas coming through, maybe Stuart Edmonds, sorry, coming through, number 162. Here comes Gilbert round by the mechanics area, past the surf and turf instant shelters as Gilbert fires on the outside line. Did he look over there? Was there someone down on the inside? Look up, no, Harry's still there, Tommy's still there, so it is Gilbert still in third. He was looking across to see if Muse was threatening perhaps. Thornhill's had a very nice start, fifth place for him right now. He was ninth in race one, so Dan looking to move himself further up the field with this one.
Once again, Josh Gilbert tripling in, but then going 2-1. I must be something in that middle section there that's stopping him launching out to go 3-3.
Yeah, it's very soft in between some of them on the track walk on Friday. Obviously, it's dried out quite a bit since then, but yeah, I'm sure it'd still be quite a soft base. The transitions, isn't it, they talk about between the jumps as they land and then take off again, could be very tricky in the middle of that lot. It is Stuart Edmonds there in 11th place. Louis Kessel's having a decent debut in the MX1 class, up into 12th place. He ran in the MX2 class all season. In fact, he's running there in around about 38th in that season. He had a few top 20 scores, but yeah, Kessel going up there in 12th place, which is not a bad ride for his first showing in this class.
Local track for Louis, though. Many laps around here.
Thornhill now getting some pressure from Sean Simpson on the SS24 KTM, looking to lean on the Cap Screens Crescent Yamaha of Dan Thornhill as they fire across the finishing line one more time. It is Searle from Kullas, 1.7 seconds between them. And yeah, it's Searle in prime position to take his third consecutive British MX1 title. But Kullas could well still look to deprive him of the second race win and the overall win in this race, because whoever takes this one out of the pair of them takes the overall as well.
What I will say, again, with the championship battle, is there is a huge amount of respect between Tommy Searle and Harry Kullas. Harry would want to win it fair and square. By that, what I mean is I don't see any cheap moves or anything coming from Harry Kullas. No. He's not the kind of guy that's going to go in there and go, right, my only shot at this is to knock Tommy off the bike. You know what it is? You know, no. But basically that's, you know, and I can't see that happening.
Great scrap here between Glenn McCormick, Louis Kessel and John Adamson. They're going to go around the outside of all of them going down the hill there before the tabletop. Sam Nunn a bit further back than he'd like to be, as is Petr Petrov down in 17th right now. But yeah, meanwhile, the leaders, looks like Kullas is catching Searle a little bit here at the front end. I mean, in his post-race interview, Kullas seemed to have that sort of resigned air a little bit, that, you know, that it was all he could do was to win the race.
Yeah, that's pretty much where he's at. Like I said, and Harry's not the kind of guy you'd have somebody that might literally go, you know, championship is everything to me, win at all costs. I don't think I've never had Harry down as a rider that gets like overly dirty or risks another rider's like health, true. as well as his own. So if he's going to do it, you know, he'll want to win it fairly, that kind of thing, you know.
Yep. Now, Gilbert seems to be closing a little bit on Kullas, but mainly Muse seems to be on the march there. Certainly trying to catch him a little bit. It was 2 seconds at the start of the lap. It's not right now. So here is Conrad Muse in shot, the 426 Motorsports Stebbing car store backed KTM effort. And we'll see what he does for next year. Definitely going to be a 450, no doubt about that, and he wants to add the 450 title to his collection of 3 MX2 crowns, and we'll see where Conrad Muse ends up and see how his 2023 season looks. Fastest lap currently for Josh Gilbert. Yeah, he's just 4 tenths behind Harry Kullas, and he's right on him. In fact, they're all three, the top three are all together as they come down the hill alongside the start straight. All three at the front are together. We pick it up on our cameras here. But Searle's got a bit of an advantage. The camera angle made it look closer, but yeah, Kullas has got Gilbert for company. Wow.
You got all 4 riders in one framing here on the screen, so this is good stuff when you get all 4 riders in one shot. You know you get good racing.
Gilbert goes up the inside, takes second place from Harry Kullas.
I think Harry made a mistake and might have even, no, he just about, well, he did make a mistake. That's why he looked over his shoulder, because he just got a little bit hooked up in that rut.
Okay. Wow. And this is making things very tough for Kullas. I think you can safely say barring a tragedy for Tommy Searle, it looks like championship over. But Kullas now is battling around. He's got Conrad Mewes up his backside. Conrad and Tommy Searle are good buddies. I'm sure Conrad would love to do his mate a favour by moving up past Harry Kullas and, of course, heading towards a podium position, which will be important to Conrad Mewes for sure. He looks to triple in, but he's got Kullas slightly in his way. Still does it, though. Amazing bit of technique from Conrad Mewes to change lane mid-air like that in amazing style.
Yeah, as a pro racer, these guys have so much trust in each other. I mean, they really do.
Gilbert's on Searle. Look at this at the far end of the hill. Josh Gilbert looking to make a move. Searle looks over and gives him the widest possible piece of track you can imagine. Oh, tries to nick up the inside in though, and Josh Gilbert, your local Cornish rider, takes the race lead. Wouldn't it be wonderful to see Josh Gilbert take his first and final race win of the year here at Landrake? What a show that was.
Well, it would be, yeah. As we said, Josh has turned many laps around here, won many races, and the year hasn't gone quite how he wanted. Started off pretty hot, you know, regards of that, but then all the travelling or whatever. He's had a great year in many ways by going off and doing the AMA, but it would be a good way to cap it off. And as we said, there's a lot of these riders in MX1 we don't really know, or can say, some of us might know, where they're going next year. So it'd be interesting to see. We heard, obviously, team manager Mark Yates talking about Revo 7 and how there'll be a new recruit in the ranks there in MX1. Well, we'll have to see who that is. So, yeah, you guys at home, wherever you are in the world, you can light up social media and fathom it out.
We are not going to let slip anything. So I like this job. I don't want to lose it. Let's put it that way. Let's put it who sponsors the series. There you go. So, yeah, and also I do the press releases, so I'm going to shut up. Right, there we go. So Harry Kullas is there in second place. And now Tommy Searle has fallen down behind Conrad Mewes. So Searle looks like he's in action management mode, isn't he? He's not bothering. He's looking round, seeing who's behind him, knows he's got a big gap before Sean Simpson appears. And then behind him, Brad Todd, Dan Thornhill. Bear in mind, even if Kullas wins, Searle must be 8th or better to still be champion, so that certainly looks likely at the moment, unless he develops a problem, of course. But yeah, Gilbert, what a great showing. Now he's got he had 2 seconds over Searle. He's now got Kullas behind him, and Conrad Mewes will be looking to get past the Yamaha rider around the far end of the track.
Well, Tommy's got approximately about 17 or 18 seconds to work with from where he is to the rider in 9th. Yeah, maybe even more than that. So, yeah, can't see that. You know, he led a good few laps. Here's stick on the back of them. He won't, you know, enough to just keep the gap. I can't see him dropping down towards Sean, to be honest. I think he'll keep it there in 4th. He's got more than enough experience and a more than enough skill set to keep it in there in 4th spot and get this thing wrapped up. So Harry, well, he's just got to do what he's got to do now, try and chase down Josh Gilbert ahead of him, at least try and go out on a high and say, look, I did what I had to do, as in my side of the deal. I just went 1-1 in the hope that something would go wrong with Tommy.
Yes, that's the conundrum there as the sunshine comes and greets us out here at Landrake. It's nice to see that as we finish off the season. Gilbert's going faster and faster, Jeff, constantly setting the fastest lap here on our screens. We've still got just under 15 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Plenty of racing left there, but Gilbert has made himself scarce. A 4.2 second gap now appearing between Gilbert and Kullas. If it stays as it is, Kullas is going to still take the overall win. But if Conrad Mewes gets past Harry Kullas, then Gilbert could well stand on the overall top step here in these local rigs, which is great to see, and it would be a great result for him. Up comes Tommy Searle up the hill. That is really the body language of a man who knows he's got it stitched up, does not have to really push, and the other 3 riders have kind of made that decision for him. You know, they are pushing harder than he wants to go right now, so that's just how he's going to see it out this championship.
You know, when you can put yourself in that position, you know, he's there. He's worked himself into the position where he can do what he's got to do to bring home the championship. I heard Eli Tomac say, though, at the AMA, like sometimes you know, when you've got that kind of cushion, it's actually harder to manage than when you've just got to go all in. But Tommy's got a load of experience. I'm not saying Eli didn't as well, but Tomac basically said, you know, he knew what he had to do. He made it simple. He had to go there and he had to ride and win it. Sometimes when you've got to manage a situation, you can overthink it. You don't ride how you normally would. But I think in the position that Tommy's in and where he's now sat and the gap he's got between him and down in Stewie Edmonds in 9th, he's got loads to work with.
Yeah,
he's not
for
under
sure.
any obvious pressure right now, is what I'm saying. Yeah.
So that's it. What can Conrad do about Harry Kullas now if it stays as it is? Conrad is still just slightly off the podium because the other three had better first races. So if Conrad gets past Kullas, then yeah, he has got the chance. In fact, he would then advance onto the podium at the expense of Tommy Searle. So yeah, that's what Conrad would like to do, step up onto the box for his first MX1 effort. And how about Josh Gilbert though, loving the fact that he's just pushed it that extra mile and gone up to take this race lead right now, and we'll see if he can hang on to it through the remaining 12.5 minutes plus 2 laps of this race. We're just seeing on sight on screen here Louis Kessel. He's battling in 12th place, just behind Liam Knight. And in fact, I think he's passed Knight and he's just got Petrov in front of him.
You'll appreciate this, Ben. Nice to see. No, you will. It's nice to see Louis Kessel move up from a 250 to 450 because he's a big old unit. He is. I think he's 6'4", maybe something like that. 6'3". He's you know, I wouldn't know what it's like to be up there in the clouds. But obviously, when you're a big guy, to have those extra horsepower.
Oh, definitely lanky power. It's got to happen. Yeah, it's I used to hate riding amongst 250s or 125s when I was on a 450. I felt like a whale amongst a school of dolphins, like there was a zoom in everywhere. And yeah, so it's nice as a big rider to be out on a 450. You've got that extra grunt. Your weight's not a factor. And in fact, your size and your leverage can be a factor to push that 450 to the tight lines that you can get away with. You can't get away with those on a 250 as much. I think the 125s are worse. The 250s are better now than they used to be for that sort of thing. But yeah, 450, you can really just push it over, get the smooth lines and crank it on, the old Ken Didyko style. And yeah, it's good to see Louis Kessel enjoying the extra power, and he's up there enjoying a top 15 place, which I think is better actually than he did all year in MX2. So yeah, certainly I do appreciate that, Jeff. Yes, good.
Yeah.
Good. Let's always cheer for the big man.
Yeah.
We got a weight disadvantage, but you know, when I saw Justin Barsha bounce off Ken Didyko at Lommel, nobody cheered louder than myself. Let's put it that way. Gilbert, 3 seconds now over Kullas. It is at the end of that lap beforehand. However, Muse doesn't look like he's able to push much harder than he is. He's got a bit of a gap. Well, it's got quite a gap now. Tommy's just let off the pace a little bit, just managing this situation, like you say, Jeff. But Conrad, I expected him to really push Kullas a little bit more than he is. And at the moment, Kullas isn't in sight, really.
Well, we know, you know, we heard a whisper going around the paddock this morning that Conrad is just not quite 100%. He's got a slightly injured back, lower back, I think, or a hip, something like that, down in his lower midriff there. So, yeah, and if it is in his hip, no matter which side it is, with all these ruts and basically choppy bumps and everything, he's going to feel a bit of discomfort, isn't he? So maybe not firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, and on the way he rides as well, where he's very much up on the pegs quite a lot of the time. I think it would help him if he was actually in a race, had something more to focus on. But yeah, he's drifted back now to just about 4.5 seconds behind Harry Kullas there. So yeah, Muse not quite able to bring the challenge to the Estonian. So that would leave Kullas as the overall winner if it stands like this now.
Some big old holes on that inside rut. It's a short route, but you could see them having to sort of just pull it up over a hole halfway through the rut there. Good technique from all of them, which is what you'd expect, of course. Look at that, that's lovely. That's how you ride a track like this right now with these heavy ruts. You try to keep your feet on the pegs as much as possible. Obviously, there's some times where you just simply have to take your feet off because the foot peg will actually ground on the rut. So, but you can see there, look, Josh trying to keep his feet on the pegs all the way around that. Do you know what? It's more energy consuming hanging your leg out than you actually realise.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Especially when your legs are long as mine.
Absolutely, yeah. I haven't got too far to go, so I'm all right. But like.
But yeah, that's something that yeah, Gilbert's very good. You see his fantastic line up that Max's tyres corner, goes right to the outside, no indecision, straight out there, but he cuts it up the inside, and he does go up that jump next to where the spectators are, right to the left-hand posts, and really does miss all the bumps. Very similar to the way he goes up this far hill as well. He goes up the right-hand side there. So nice to see that sort of technician sort of work from Gilbert and making the lines work for him.
Josh Gilbert will know he's going to have to work to the very end of this one. I've spoken to Josh enough times this year and previous years. He really respects Harry Kullas as just a very calculated rider. He said you can never let off with Harry. He's so smart. You think that he's kind of like backed it down or rolled in the towel, you know, thrown in the towel, and then all of a sudden he starts picking it up again. So he knows he's got to go, and it looks to me like Harry Kullas is starting to pull back a little bit.
Oh, he did there, definitely. Yeah, his lap time there, sorry, Jeff, was about 0.8 faster. So, yes, he's starting to haul him in.
He is, because, like I said, Harry won't want, he'll want to go 1-1. He knows the championship is virtually gone at this point. So he just want to go out and say, okay, at least I won, the battle. I didn't win the war, but at least I won the battle.
Yeah, of course, and of course he would like to get that second moto bogey off his back. I certainly would if I was in that situation. I think I've never won the second race throughout the entire year. Even if the championship's gone, let's just get that bogey off our back and get on progress into the winter to build for 2023. Like I say, won the MX Nationals title, 3rd year in a row, so there's no doubting he can win a championship. It just seems to be, the competition just seems to stretch it just that little bit further in this series in regards to Tommy Searle. And obviously some of the other riders here, like Gilbert, really pushing nicely. At the moment, though, it's going to be close between these two. We've got 7 minutes plus 2 laps still to go. So there's still plenty left to go here for Kullas to attack and deny Josh Gilbert a nice home field advantage. Second moto win here. The overall is looking like it's going the way of the Estonian if this stays like it is anyway. But like you say, we'd love, Kullas, I'm sure, would love to see the overall win go his way, even if he cannot win the war, like you say.
I'll tell you how professional Harry Kullas is. He's wearing that basically foam on his peak that's off an air filter or whatever. He's so professional, he takes out a marker pen and writes the sponsors' names that he's covering up on the foam.
Yeah, I saw it in close quarters in the old post-race interview there. Quite incredible. Yeah, I'm wondering why he's even wearing it, because no mud is sticking to any bike out there. It hasn't for a couple of races yet that we've seen. But yeah, he's still got it. And, yeah, like you say, he's still got the sponsors felt tip penned in at the top.
I mean, I think his artwork needs polishing up. If he's going to do it right, he's got to at least draw the logo, not just write the, so he can. Maybe that's something he can work on in the off-season. Yeah,
I think that the team will be at work getting some sort of proper printed foam to go onto the top there. I'm surprised they don't do that anyway. Let's face it, if you use it that much, let's at least make it sponsor-friendly.
Could be on Dragon's Demo an idea like that.
Oh, hey, there we go.
Get on it straight away.
Printed foam, yes, ideal.
You'll be going out buying a load of foam on Monday, I know. Yeah, I can see.
No, that big guy in the big chair is going to say, look, motocross, it's niche,
Yeah, not a prayer.
Tommy Searle's actually in danger of getting caught here by Sean Simpson. 2.5 seconds apart there for the two most perhaps seasoned veterans in this British Championship. And yes, Searle leading Simpson 4th and 5th. Simpson's had a sort of tricky year. He is running 3rd in the championship. That's not under threat at all. He's going to finish there. He did take the overall win at Blackshall, which was his sole moto win as well. Race 2 in that department. But apart from that, he's had regular podium appearances, but not quite got to the top level that he knows he is capable of. But I think he's had some health issues as well, Jeff, hasn't he? He had some sort of long COVID or something affected him.
Yeah, definitely. It's not, it's been a tough one for him, And again, another rider, we'll have to see what he decides to do going forward. No official announcement yet regards to that, but again, done so much for the sport in the UK. Real top rider, always great to watch. But either way you look at it, like James Bond, I suppose, it all, playing the part of James Bond. You've got a shelf life. Motocross has got a shelf life. It catches up with you in the end. You can't be Bond forever. So, I've
got no answer to that one. That's true,
I mean, age gets the better of us in the end. It's a brutal sport. It's, at the high end, you can't be a British motocross champion age 60. Well, maybe you could. Maybe that will happen one day, but it's very unlikely. So these guys, Sean, Tommy, they're all, edging towards the back end of their career. They'll obviously want to go for as long as they can and be competitive as long as they can. But at some point, you know that, time is against you and you've got to make that decision.
Yeah, absolutely. You only live twice.
Absolutely. We're going to get as many shameless James Bond quotes in now as we can.
I'm not even going to attempt the Sean Connery accent at all, so don't worry, I'm not going anywhere near that. But yeah, so Gilbert still has a 2.5 over Harry Kullas. Is he managing it, or is he just at full chat and Harry can't quite get onto terms with him? Muse, like I say, I did see in qualifying actually, Muse come down the hill and he was twisting himself some sort of funny shape on the bike. So yeah, he was looking like he was trying to stretch something out. So I wondered then if he had an issue, but yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, 3rd place for Muse. It's still not going to see him quite on the podium at the moment. The overall podium, if it stays like this, is going to be Harry Kullas with a first and a second, the overall winner if it stays like this. Josh Gilbert looks like he's going to be second overall if he takes a 3-1 card, and Conrad Muse finishing 4 and 3. Actually, he will finish behind Searle, who is looking at a 2-4 card right now. So the overall podium right now looks like looking at Kullas, Gilbert and Searle, but in the championship, of course, Tommy will wrap it up if it stays like this, ahead of Harry Kullas with Simpson in third.
Yeah, it's been an absolute classic, as I said, performance from Tommy really throughout today. He did what he had to do in the first one pretty much, and then when it got a bit hot, you know, he's just like, okay, you guys go on, I'm not going to get involved with that. Got 2 great starts, which makes the job so much easier. Did what he had to do. Once he got some heat from Josh Gilbert, he resisted, he didn't get involved. Just basically sat back, and he's done exactly what he had to do. And Harry, in his own way, has done the same thing. Obviously, he'd like to go 1-1, and I still think he's pushing for that.
Yeah,
he knows he's going to win the overall here.
Yeah.
But he, like you said, just that psychological edge. Maybe he thinks, you know, I've got to get this thing, this second moto deal done. And he's trying really hard to get it done. He's not giving up on it yet. He'll push Josh Gilbert all the way to the flag here, I'm sure.
Yeah, for certain. It's getting close now. 2 minutes on the clock, so they're going to cross the line here, and then they will have 2 more laps. So this is 3 laps to go then for Gilbert, Kullas, Muse and Searle to try and decide who's going to mount the podium and who's not. Sean Simpson still there in 5th. Quick running order down for you. Brad Todd in 6th place is going to jump ahead of Liam Knight to take that 6th place where they were tied in the championship before today started. But Brad Todd got the better of his teammate by some distance in race 1, and he's there again in race 2. So Brad Todd actually looking at a very good day for him. 2 6th places is definitely quite a way ahead of what he's done this season. He had 1 5th and a 5th overall at Blacksall, but that would definitely be a good day to be 6th twice, especially with Conrad Muse in the field. Dan Thornhill 7th, Stuart Edmonds in 8th. John Adamson will be disappointed with 9th, but I think he was feeling a bit of pain. Somebody told me he'd hurt himself a little bit, and Martin Barr is there in 10th place.
Yeah, the AC United team are a bit bashed up and on the high, you know, with the 2 pro riders.
Sure.
Yeah, John's carrying an injury. He sat out last weekend at the New Oxford Moto Park so he could make sure he was, you know, as fit as he could be. So, yeah, he's not 100%.
No. Of course, yeah, their youth rider had a hammering in the youth class as well, sadly. But yeah, if you're just joining us, you didn't hear the news there. Tyler Hooley, their youth rider, had a crash in the second youth race. He is in hospital, but I saw him on the stretcher. He was talking, he was conscious. It's just a case of broken bones somewhere in his body. We don't know the full extent, but we know that it's no worse than that, at least. So we wish him all the best in his recovery and a successful training winter in preparation for 2023, which is what all of these riders are looking to put in as soon as they're done here at the British Championship.
I'd like to think not as soon as they're done. I'd like to think they're going to have a little bit of a respite. It was interesting talking to Jamie Carpenter, and as he said, he had that second ACL tear, and he had all those injuries sat out. And rested up, but in many ways he's had off the back of it his best season ever. I'm a big believer of you know, you've got to rest up in the winter, mentally as much as physically. You know, we all love riding bikes, that's why we do what we've done, and we get involved and we love the sport. But honestly, like, it's a tiring experience, and I do think a lot of riders don't give themselves enough downtime in the winter. Stay off the bike for like a month, even more. You know, just let your body recuperate across the board. Even
of course, well, Dave Thorpe's recent book came out there. We're reading our way through that, and I'm not going to give away the whole story, but yeah, for sure, even there, it's quite clear he had a good winter break there, and he always used to start training and racing in November, so he'd have that sort of break. Okay, they race later into the year now, but really, you can still do that. You can still take a few weeks off. Look at this. It's getting close at the front here. Kullas is drawn to within a second of Josh Gilbert as they took the 2 laps to go flag. So is Harry timing his run perfectly here. 2 laps to go, and Gilbert is going to feel the pressure from the Terminator, the Estonian maestro, Harry Kullas, on the Cab Screens Crescent Yamaha. He might be losing the title, but he will certainly be in contention for the overall win. He's there anyway, but he wants that 1-1. He wants that second moto.
Yeah, he has. He's paced this. He's literally paced it to go absolutely all in on the last 2 laps. Harry will do that now. I mean, Josh is going to have to work. I called it earlier on, saying that he knows that Harry's not going to go away. Harry has definitely held something back mid-moto to push these last 3 laps.
Oh, Gilbert got it slightly squiggly going into the rhythm section there. He did do the triple, but he was slightly sideways. I'm sure that did his heart rate no favours whatsoever. And Gilbert running wide into that bottom corner, but he rounds it nicely. That, I think, is his normal line. And yeah, Kullas ran tight, but got caught up in the sharper bumps there on that tight line. Didn't look too good on that corner either at the bottom of the hill there, Jeff. Looked like it was giving him some sort of issues going through there.
But the shortest line.
Yes.
And to do that when it's at its roughest is when you need to be fit to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
And Harry has absolutely held a bit back so he can do that. So he can absolutely push as to his maximum these last couple of laps to try and finally get this 1-1 scorecard that he's been after all year.
He's in the rooster tails now of Josh Gilbert, there's no doubt about it. 1 lap to go then, ladies and gentlemen. Slowdown, final grandstand finish here at the last race of the Revo British Motocross Championship, fueled by Gulf Race Fuels. It's Josh Gilbert versus Harry Kullas for the moto win. Kullas has the overall stitched up, just like Tommy has the championship stitched up. Oh, and Charlie Putnam slightly in Harry's way at the top of the hill. There's another SC Sport Homes Husqvarna slightly in the way. I'm sure that's completely accidental, but I'm sure they'll take it. And Kullas now has a bit of a further job of work to do than he did. And now Gilbert will need to put the hammer down and hope that he can hold off Kullas as they start to hit a little bit more traffic, Jeff.
Yeah, Charlie inadvertently helped him. I don't think there was any team orders or anything there to try and hold him up. Charlie was just unfortunate to be on the line that Harry wanted to use, so Harry's got to go again. Josh has just gapped it out, probably 2 bike lengths because of that incident. They have got less, probably, well, just over about half a lap to go. Harry's going to have to dig so deep here. Well, they both are. You know, Josh will desperately want to win this last moto of the year, no doubt about it, and Harry desperately wants to get the monkey off his back with this second moto hoodoo.
Oh, it's great to hear some crowd noise getting involved here. Getting behind Josh Gilbert, your local rider. That's absolutely fine to see that. Kullas is still pushing like crazy. Muse is there in a solid third. Cyril 4th and Simpson 5th. Brad Todd and Dan Thornhill have got 6th and 7th stitched up as well. Then it's Edmonds, Adamson and Barr to round out your top 10. But if we look at this scrap at the front of the field with Kullas trying to chase down Gilbert. Gilbert changed his line.
Interestingly, yeah, Josh went on the last lap protecting the inside,
changed
changed his
loves
line.
That outside up that hill, and it needs to have a slightly better jump to that corner. He's taken that line all races, Gilbert. Martin Barr's just passed John Adamson for 9th in that lap. But here comes Gilbert now with Kullas launching down the hill. That's as far as I've seen anybody jump down there all weekend. And Gilbert holding the outside line here. He's going to hug the inside in this tight left-hander. He and Kullas went at it in this corner last season. That's on the video if you want to see it. But Gilbert is holding it on the right-hander here. He's got 1 corner to go. Josh Gilbert, is he going to do it and finally win a race win? He's got Louis Kessel right in his path. I'm sure that raises his heart rate, but Gilbert holds on. He takes the race win. 2nd race win for Josh Gilbert. He'll be absolutely ecstatic with that.
I'm thinking, did he see the flag? I reckon, I actually do believe that Louis Kessel maybe distracted him enough
that he didn't see
the checkered flag.
That's it.
Like, Louis was almost like, dude, what you doing? Why are you carrying on? Like, I don't want to do another lap either.
That's it, absolutely. So Kullas has come across the line. We wait for Conrad Muse and our champion-elect Tommy Searle. There is Conrad Muse finishing 3rd. Here comes Tommy. Is he going to wrap up this championship now with a 4th place finish?
Is he over the line already?
He's not over the line yet. No, we just saw Conrad Muse going across. There was about 12 seconds between them, and I'm sure Tommy is not pushing it on this last lap. Here he comes then across the line. Tommy Searle takes his 3rd straight British Motocross Championship in the MX1 class. What a fantastic result for Tommy, and the Crendon Fast Track Honda team have won it one more time.
They're all going around the rest of the circuit. I don't know why they're doing that. Previously, they get pulled off to the right. But anyway, I'm thinking we might have got it wrong, and they're all doing an extra lap, but we haven't.
Done. That's it. It's definitely done.
Okay, well, this is good stuff. We're going to go down there and try and capture the emotion right now. We're going to go to a very, very quick ad break. Then we're going to be back, hopefully celebrating with Tommy Searle and the Crendon Honda Fast Track team.
so I make it harder. Think about it, so many niggas do be cool and look smart. The world time has come to.
Okay, here we are with the overall winner here at the final round of the Revo British Motocross Championship, fueled by Gulf Race Fuels. Ladies and gentlemen, Harry Kullas, you gave it maximum effort. We saw absolutely no shortage of that. Great to see you smiling, even though second in the championship again, but still, how was this track? How was that feeling for you, that second race? We thought you were going to just do enough to get through, but yeah, still there for the overall win. How do you feel?
Yeah, again, we didn't have the best start. Maybe I was a bit too outside, but yeah, Landrake is difficult because like there is only few spots with a good gate pick because they are unlevel. Like every year, that's the problem in Landrake. So hopefully they fix it for next year, so that they have more gates. But anyway, that's not the excuse. I had second in the start and was following Tommy a few laps, and then yeah, Gilbert was pushing behind me quite hard, and yeah, he managed to pass me, and I said like, okay, I have to go with him, and then I managed to pass Tommy also. I was second, and then Josh had good laps there, and he pulled away a little bit, and then I saw like 4 or 5 laps to go, and like I have to go, you know. And I think we had one of the best races in the last 4 laps. I think the pace was really high. Like I think we rode really good, like, and I was a bit faster, but yeah, just couldn't make it happen for a win. It didn't change anyway for the championship. I would end up anyway second, but it would be nice to get that 1-1 and. But I'm like quite happy for a second race riding wise in the end, especially like yeah, it was good race. Got the overall, so yeah, that was all I could do. I gave my maximum and I tried my best, and yeah, second is not bad. Yeah, we were close 2 years in a row, but yeah, congrats to Tommy. He won it this year again, so we have a go maybe next year and try to beat him again, and or anyone who is racing. I guess there is Conrad is coming up, so. Good riders there, and for sure I have to give a cap screens Crescent Yamaha. All the families, all the team crew, thank you very much. I think we stay one piece, and we have to enjoy that. And we got the MX national title, second in British, so thank you everyone, and thanks to Steve and thanks to my girlfriend. She's not here, but I think we have to be satisfied.
Yeah, excellent. You've entertained us all this weekend, so thank you so much for that. And next step is Redbud, isn't it? You're in for Team Estonia again. Looking forward to that?
Yeah, so yeah, we have main championship finished in England, and no more races except Redbud. So yeah, now travel back home to Belgium and then Estonia and take all the stuff with me, and then we fly to America and get 1 day riding maybe, and last race of the year, and hopefully we can make it good there.
Nice one. Thank you so much for your effort, Harry. Been great pleasure to watch you ride. And congratulations, your overall winner, ladies and gentlemen, Harry Kullas here at Landrake. For the bring-in for the third time running British MX1 champion. Ladies and gentlemen, all watching here, give it up for British champion, Mr. Tommy Searle. Tommy, I love the kit, by the way. I thought you were going to have the nice gold stuff like you wore last year, but it's looking good with the gold #1. How was that last race for you? It looked like you just wanted to let them go and just do enough.
At first in the race, I was really enjoying it. I got the whole shot, so 2 whole shots today, which is really good. Starts have been great. The bike's been great all year, and it was again today. So I was this week I was a little bit nervous coming into the race. I don't normally get nervous, but when I was on track, it felt good all day. I would have liked to win a race, but I was happy out front, and I made a couple of mistakes. They come past and they were sort of in a train pushing, so I wasn't going to get involved. I was just happy and yeah, just did what I needed to do really.
Yeah, it looked like when Josh came up behind you up that hill, you took one look and left about a big enough gap for a bus to come through. So you clearly weren't going to push between those guys. But how does that feel in general, like the season? I think you made today easier by your efforts at both Fat Cat and Whitby. So did that make it much easier for you today?
Yeah, on the day actually it's been quite easy. I worried in the week about what could happen and where I could finish, this and that, but it never goes how you think. And the first race I got second, and that gave me a good points gap that I could ride around in the second race, because I know my speed on a track like this is good. I think if I needed to, obviously I could have fought for the win on a track like today, but I just done what I needed to do. And I was sort of worried. I'd hear a little noise on the bike or this or that, and I was like, oh, I was confident in myself, and then I started worrying a little bit. But overall, great day. Just really happy. Thanks to the Honda team. They've been great for the past 3 years, 3 championships. I'm really happy with what I've done. It's not easy. I'm getting older. Also my personal sponsors, GTCI, Granny Groundworks, Monster. There's a big list of people that I can't want to thank. Ed, my wife, and my mechanic Willie has been great. I've had no problems ever since I joined the team, and that's a big part in winning championships.
Great stuff. And of course, next up, Redbird for Team GB. Looking forward to that?
Yeah, now this is out the way, I can look forward to that. I just wanted to get this one out the way. I'm going to go to Jake Nichols' house this week, ride a little bit because his track's similar to Redbird, so make some changes on the bike, go a little bit stiffer for the track out there, and hopefully I can put my best foot forward and do great now for Team GB.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Tommy, for a great year. Been a pleasure to call it, sir. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your British champion, Tommy Searle. Right, there we go, Jeff. We're done for another year. How are you feeling about this series here?
Oh, it's been another awesome year's racing. I mean, the racing today alone, in the 65s upwards, I mean, the strategy in the 65 race, the 85s going right down to the last race, Ben, you know, equal on points. Another great series here at the Revo British Championship. A big shout out to everybody that's got behind the series all year, the riders, the competitors, the marshals, the staff, everybody that's given us another great season of racing. As we said, at MX1 TV, we're working on plans for next year to hopefully cover the whole series. In fact, cover most of British Motocross as it goes, so hopefully they'll fall into place. Yeah, we hope you've really enjoyed the viewing. It's always been a pleasure working with you, Ben, second part of the year. Obviously, hope we're going to work on that going forward. And again, thanks to everybody worldwide for tuning in and enjoying what you're seeing. Hopefully you enjoy what you see. Thanks to all the sponsors that make it happen, but thanks to you. If you keep liking and subscribing, press it now. Don't even wait. Just subscribe right now and press the like button on MX1 TV, and we'll be back doing more. Sorry about the little and large show. We're a little bit indifferent like that, but I like to think we balance each other out when we're on the mic. It's been a pleasure. Thanks to everybody. Thanks to everybody here at Landrake, Phil, Justin and the team. We'll be back next year with more of these live streams. Until then, everybody stay safe out there. I'll let you have the final word, Ben.
Yeah, great stuff. And I've got to say thanks to everybody for coming out today to Landrake. It's great to see it live, although you might be able to watch it live, either on stream live at the time, or of course watching it back on TV when you do get home. You can't beat coming to the races, so please make sure you come and see these guys, see the anger in their eyes, see the sweat, see the effort, and make sure you know what gets behind the scenes here at the Revo British Motocross Championship, fueled by Gulf Race Fuels. It's been a great year. Cheers, Jeff, for coming on board.
One other thing, actually I said he'd have the last word, but I'm going to have it. There's that band, I forgot that there's that band playing, isn't there, up the road? I forgot their name, the ZZ Top lookalike. Do you know what? I'm having the last word because I'm going to go up there and have a beer and join in. Thanks, everybody. We hope you've enjoyed the broadcast. We'll see you next year.
See you in 2023.